Hey, greetings fellow slaying agents in the wild, it's your trusted handler Brian, and guess what? It's that time again. What time you might ask? Well, as you can guess by how you're listening to this episode, it's time for another season to drop. As always, before we begin, I want to give a shout out to all our new subscribers who have joined us during the off season. And there were a few, so I'm just going to bulk welcome everybody. Welcome to the channel, welcome to the show. I also want to give a shout out to Kevin Dolan, who wrote into the show and clarified a few of the mechanics that myself and the other hardslingers of yore had misrepresented. Thanks, Kev. I really appreciate it. You know, I think I've said in the past, and it still holds true today, that we tend to play this game a little pulpy. And at times we do take liberties with the system in the spirit of having fun. And you know what? This season is really no different. We had a blast doing it. So if you like what we're putting out, please tell a friend. Subscribe to us over on YouTube at Roll20, and you can find us on all major and minor podcast apps. So please leave us that 5-star rating and review. All right. Enough is enough. I know you're waiting for me to say it, so just say it with me. Let's warm up our dice and top off our glass as Roll20 presents episode 1 of our homebrewed scenario, Acquired Taste. Welcome back, everybody.
One quick question. I noticed that on my Little Treasures notes, we earned a gold doubloon, and we never used it.
Carries over.
Transfer?
They carry over.
Oh, outstanding. And let me see, because there were...
We used one.
Yeah, there was one. We used one?
I thought we did at the end. But I'm fine. I'm fine if we start with one each. That's fine. It doesn't matter.
Wait a minute. If we did use one, I want to check my notes.
Well, there is an archive.
Yeah, I thought you had you pulled that like you used to on the old days.
Yep.
I know that I thought we were getting pretty cocky at the end because it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. We still got like 3 fucking coins or 2 coins.
Yeah.
And I thought we ended up using one because the broad hit you or hit me, and then it didn't destroy.
That's
us.
right.
Only,
You
like,
reused
smoked us.
one
That is correct.
because
You
that
did
would have
use one, yeah.
Okay. So
we got
you're-
one each. We'll
one
say.
each. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like draw a circle
we
at,
have
the,
one
at the top of your thing, and just to denote it when it goes away, just cross out the circle. So
Got
There's only one each.
it.
for now.
For now.
Yeah.
All right, so what's this one called, brother?
This one is called. Well, let me lead us in, and I'll
Let's lead us in, brother.
lead us in.
Yeah.
It's been a while, man. Let me flex my my vocal cords here. Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to Roll20. It is I, your trusted handler, Brian, and with me, my hard slingers of yore.
Hail.
Yeah. Homebrew, Delta Green scenario, Acquired Taste. It's been a long time. I mean, now that we don't record every week, and I don't put something out every week where we start actually building up these shorter seasons like this. It's kind of nice to be back on the recording side of the screen again, you know? I know we do play D&D Sunday nights, but it's just it's got a different feel to it. This is for the brothers.
Yeah. Well, Sunday nights are fun and adventurous. And this is some dark, deep, dangerous, demented shit.
Well, let me keep the darkness rolling deep.
Oh my.
Current time, 6:19 p.m. Current location, Boston Airport, car rental return kiosk. Currently, you agents are returning your blue Charger that you used on the streets of Marblehead, Massachusetts, when the attendant hands you a slip of paper. On it says, Concourse, 12 minutes. It takes you 9 minutes to weave your way past all the miserable individuals that are planning to spend the next several hours confined to a tube with wings when you find yourselves entering the concourse. As you both scan the location, you notice a woman standing in the center, looking towards the connecting tunnel you're both emerging from. Unlike the other individuals, Her head doesn't move from side to side, and her eyes never break line of sight from both of you. She waits, as if wanting you to approach.
Ichi looks at the woman. Does she look familiar to Ichi? And I nudge Adesso. You know her?
From this distance, she looks vaguely familiar. She's about 5'1", long, straight, dark hair. And even from this distance, you can tell she has rather masculine monos. And both of you agents would recognize her simply as Anna, a woman you knew from your past.
Gotcha.
All right. And she sees us, so there's no reason to try to be subtle or sneak up and have a fun reunion.
Right.
So we'll just walk up to her.
She looks at the two of you and says, "It's been a while, agents."
Yes, it has. It has been a while. I believe the last time we saw you was right around the mission we called Sweetness, if my notes are accurate.
That is correct, Polly. I'm just supposed to collect the two of you and bring you somewhere. I'll let your liaison fill you in. She turns her back towards you and just assumes that you're following her as she begins to lead you both through several maintenance hallways until she stops before a door. She opens this door, revealing a part of the airport that's currently under construction. And you see several feet away, looking out onto a runway that's still under construction, Heisenberg. She gestures for the two of you to continue into the room. And as you pass through the doorway, she closes it, leaving the three of you alone.
We're still armed, I assume, from our previous mission?
That is correct.
Okay.
With all the goodies that you procured. You procured.
Yes.
Without
Okay,
turning and facing you, still looking out on the runway, he says over his shoulder, "Sometimes one's conscience can be an anchor. It can tether you to a point in time that to move beyond it will tear your soul asunder." He turns to look at the two of you and says, "I want to thank you for the closure you brought, not just to the families in Marblehead, but to me as well."
You're welcome.
I only hope those little treasures can rest well now. Moving on to business. Currently, the agency is going through a restructure. As of immediately, all agents will report directly to their respective handlers, who in turn will delegate all investigations independently of their chain of command. There's been a point of failure in the upper ranks, leaks and compromises, but I assure you this is temporary. So moving forward, I'll be known as your liaison. So with that out of the way, let's get to business. As it stands, I need to send the two of you to Providence, Rhode Island to meet with Dr. Milton Reeves. He's a local medical examiner.
Well, I'm glad you stopped us before we boarded our flight. That would have been an awful long flight for nothing. Back to the golden coast of California, just to come right back here.
Honestly, I don't think you would have made it back in time to handle what needed to be done. I would have had to rely on the B string, and I don't want to do that. As it stands right now, a favor's been called in, and what we have goes like this. Just over an hour ago, at 5:02 p.m., the police were called out to investigate a disturbance at 11 Macy Avenue in Rhode Island. They arrived at the location to discover a gruesome scene, the dead body of a 13-year-old boy, Jules Kincaid. The police secured the crime scene, while at the same time began their search for 37-year-old Celeste Kincaid, the mother of the boy, who seems to have been taken from the residence. They've also issued a bolo for 42-year-old Owen Kincaid, the boy's father, and Celeste Kincaid's husband. The working theory being pieced together right now is that Owen Kincaid possibly in a fit of rage or otherwise, killed the boy and then absconded with the mother to whereabouts unknown. As of this moment, the police have come up with nothing. Now, Dr. Milton Reeves, the medical examiner who transported the boy's body back to his office for processing, contacted me at 5:46 p.m. He began to fill me in on the unique way in which the boy had perished. This ME is someone who has worked with the agency in the past, and he and I go way back. He's seen some things, but I'm hesitant in saying anything that may bias your investigation. Instead, I want you to go to Providence and speak with Dr. Reeves yourselves, and I'll let you make the decision if this warrants the agency's involvement. After he finishes, he extends 2 boarding passes towards you, and for the first time you notice a golden ring on his small finger. On it has a motif of 3 winds in a concentric circle, one feeding into the next and looping into each other. It's something you don't remember seeing in the past.
Each probably would recognize the symbol if it's done in the Japanese style, the kaze.
It is. It's very similar to that each.
Did you get married while we were away? I noticed the ring.
No, I don't, and last time I checked, most men don't wear their wedding bands on their right pinky finger. No, I did not. And that's something we could touch base on during another season. Look, I hate to be a stickler for time, gentlemen, but your plane is already boarding.
Okay, well, thankfully we've already have a packed bag and accoutrements that we will need, hopefully, for this. Or hopefully we won't need them for this next mission.
Well, unfortunately, I have to say that wherever you two land and however this goes about, I don't have any tabs on any weapons caches in Providence. So, like I said, if it doesn't warrant our involvement, then that's the end of it. But I trust Dr. Reeves, and I don't think he would have called me if it wasn't something to scrutinize.
All right, well, Adesso, you hear that? If we're in need of a cache, we may have to just leave it up to Providence.
Gotcha.
In Providence.
Damn. The plane lands and you depart, making your way to yet another rental car kiosk and procure a red Chevy Camaro. By the time your wheels hit the road, it's 9:13 p.m. You pull up the address for the medical examiner's office and begin your trek. The air is cool and crisp, as the overcast skies of Providence have all but blotted out the full moon and stars. The streetlights give off a diffused glow, but not enough to increase visibility beyond 50 feet. Street traffic is light, and pedestrian traffic is non-existent. As you navigate your way through the foggy streets of Providence, you find yourselves at the corner of Orms Street and Charles Street. And as you exit the car, you hear a train horn blaring on the opposite side of the medical examiner's building. Time right now is 9:32 p.m.
Okay.
My guess is it's probably not anybody there and it's closed. Do we have a phone number for our ME contact so we can call them and tell them to let us in? Because I'm going to assume that the ME's building is a government building that will be locked for certain hours.
Well, ironically, several of the lights are still on.
Okay.
There's always somebody there, it seems like, because crime doesn't seem to sleep either. You see that the first floor, the lobby floor, the lights are illuminated through the glass panes, even though it's tinted windows. And you see several office windows on the second, third, and fourth floor are illuminated sporadically as well.
Got it.
Let's enter and go find Dr. Milton Reeves.
Okay. As you enter the medical examiner's office, you see that there's an older woman with gray-streaked black hair sitting behind a desk. The name tag on her shirt says Susan Harbor, Lobby Director.
We'll walk up. And you said it's evening time, right?
Yes, 9:32 p.m.
Hi, good evening.
Oh
Ms.
dear.
Harbor? Mrs. Harbor?
Ms., I'm sorry. Afraid I'm still single.
Well, I'm sorry to bother you so late this evening, but my associate and I were told that we were supposed to meet with Dr. Milton Reeves. He had called and asked about us, and so we're coming to see him.
Oh, yes. He did mention that there would be some associates wanting to speak with him. He's up on the second floor. I will key you into the elevator, as after hours it does need to be accessed that way. Okay. She punches in something. You hear the elevator at the back of the lobby ding, and then the doors open. You enter the elevator. Doors close silently behind you. A few moments later, the courtesy bell chimes as the elevator doors open onto a long hallway. You see doors line both sides, and you could see about halfway down a man leaning against the wall, looking down at something in his hand.
Okay. I'll do a little throat clear as to not startle him. So Dr. Milton Reeves here.
He looks up, and you see that he's not in a lab coat. He's in jeans. He's in a cardigan sweater. He's got a full beard, wire-rimmed glasses, long sandy blonde hair, and a full beard. And he just looks at you kind of quizzically.
Dr. Reeves?
He's probably about 35, 40 feet down the hallway, but he's outside of any of the rooms. He's leaning against the hallway wall.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll walk up then and
Yeah.
introduce ourselves. Well, we'll not necessarily introduce ourselves. Well, yeah, we'll do that. We'll walk up. No need to. I don't think we should be flashing our badges necessarily. Do we need to do that, Tone?
No,
He's the
we're
friend of
here from
Heisenberg.
Heisenberg. This is an insider contact. We should
Yeah.
just be able to introduce ourselves, is my thought.
As you
Okay.
draw closer to him, he puts what was in his hand in his pocket,
Okay.
and he looks up at you with these piercing blue eyes behind these glasses, and he says, are the two of you here to see Dr. Reeves as well?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
I take it that you're the agents assigned to investigate the boy's murder?
That is correct. And this time, Polly will pull out his FBI credentials. And I'm sorry, I haven't had the pleasure. Your name?
My name is Michael Collins. I was asked by Dr. Reeves to wait outside and talk with you when you arrived.
And you're with which department?
Well, actually, I'm an investigator. Although I'm not in an official capacity, I believe my talents might be of help with your investigation, though, agents. Which is why I believe that we should work together, and I don't believe that Dr. Reeves knows that we're together. That's why he wanted me to wait for you to arrive. So
Gotcha. So are you affiliated with a particular outlook, maybe a little greener than we would anticipate, especially during this time of year?
Agent, I'm not familiar with that. I'm actually I'm a writer of sorts. I chronicle certain events and persons of interest.
Oh, are you a reporter or a private investigator?
Oh, no. I write literature relating to, he kind of looks up and down the hallway, cryptids. And I'm currently researching data for my latest book, The Monsters Amongst Us, Part 2.
Have we heard of this book by chance?
You can make a history
Out of
check if you want.
Yeah, let's do a history check because, given our particular skill set, it's entirely possible that we may know what he has written. And who knows?
77. Fail. Critical fail.
Critical fail.
I have a
don't even have
97.
skill. I don't even have a skill in it.
Neither one of you have heard of this book, or his previous book, or books. And he can see that on your faces, especially you each drawing that critical fail. And he almost takes pride in that, like, maybe I know something you don't kind of feeling.
So
And,
you said Dr. Reeves told you to wait out here?
That's correct, yes.
Where is he right now?
He's currently in his lab right behind us. Right
Oh,
behind
okay,
me.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to go make sure Dr. Reeves knows we're here, Adesso. Do you mind sitting out here with our new friend, Mr. Michael Collins, a
Not
famed
at all.
author?
Happy to do that.
Great, I'll be right back.
And he watches you go in, and the door closes behind you, and he looks at you, Adesso, and he says, "You know, I would think it would be very advantageous if I were to join you while you conduct your interview with Dr. Reeves. You know, perhaps I might bring a few questions to the conversation that you might overlook." Each, as you walk in to the lab, you see this sterile environment that is the medical examiner's autopsy lab. You see a man sitting on a polished metal chair at one of the empty metal tables used to conduct autopsies. And he turns when you enter and he stands up to greet you. He's a tall, lean man with black hair and black eyes, looks to be in his mid-30s. And he greets you by extending a bony hand with a ring on his pinky finger. And he says, "Hello, I'm Dr. Milton Reeves. I was informed by our mutual friend to expect you, but I kind of thought there was going to be more than one of you."
There actually is. In fact, there's more than two of us. There was someone else out there. I merely came in here to make sure everything was okay with you.
Oh, is Mr. Collins with you?
He's not with us, but he was waiting out front for us. So I thought it would be good due diligence to make sure that you were safe before we came in and talked with you. Do you want him in with us? Is he of some note to you? Are you familiar with his works?
I am familiar with his works, in fact, but he hasn't been read in, so at least he wasn't told to me by our friend to expect him. I was told to expect Agent Each, and I'm assuming that you're Agent Each and your partner.
What makes you say that? I'm just joking. little bit of a brevity there. That's a nice ring you have there too. Is it any significance?
He kind of starts rubbing his fingers to kind of cover it, but you can see that it's a golden ring with a motif that has 3 wind symbols all in a concentric circle feeding into each other. He's like, "Oh, you know, it's an old ring that an old girlfriend gave it to me years ago, and I can't let it go. I just really like it, like the design."
I understand. Yes, I just noted the symbol. It's of perhaps Chinese or Japanese origin. So, as you know, since I'm Agent Each, I know these sort of things. I'm just playing with you. Would you allow me to bring our other friend in? And would you want this other person involved as well? As you said, he hasn't been read in, and you know what happens to people who are not in the know. Or could happen. Could happen.
He looks at you pondering, and we cut to Agent Adesso out in the hallway.
Always good.
Polly, you're standing next to this man, and he looks at you and he says, "You know, Agent, I believe we're after the same thing.
And what would that be?
Whoever killed this boy and wherever his mother might have been taken to."
Well, Mr. Collins, is it? I understand.
Yeah.
This is an official FBI investigation, and unfortunately, we can't leave details to the press or whoever it is you're representing, even if you're working for a private magazine or whatever it is, a blog or whatever. We just can't share details with anyone. And since you don't have the proper security clearance and you're not with law enforcement, I'm afraid you're going to have to leave.
He looks at you and he kind of looks down towards the elevator and he grabs you by your upper bicep and he kind of leans into you and he says, "Agent, I know what the officers at the crime scene said. I overheard them. I could be very advantageous to your investigation. I want you to make an instinct check.
Okay. Instinct check.
This guy stinks.
58 under 75.
This man, Michael Collins, he seems to be in the know. Seems like he could prove to be very advantageous, but he also seems like it's possible he could be a devious man as well. That he might be hiding something, possibly something personal. He's doing his best to be part of your investigation. At this point, Agent Each pokes his head out of the door.
Adesso? And
Yes, Agent Each.
And Mr. Collins, the doctor said he's okay to talk with all of us.
Each, we want him in there with us.
Well, the doctor seems that he may be of some help, and as you know, we're here to solve an issue.
Right. Okay. Very well then.
He looks at you, Adesso, and kind of winks like, we got this, partner. Let's get on inside. Agent Each, is it? Please lead the way. And he cuts in front of you, Adesso, and just starts following Each back into the autopsy lab.
It's Agent Kimura.
My apologies, Agent Kimura. Please lead on. Let's go.
I didn't even notice.
He follows you back into the autopsy lab, leaving Agent Adesso out in the hallway to follow and bring up the train.
Choo-choo.
Oh, that's a good thing. I may have to kill this guy, so. Best be behind him. Yeah.
Adesso, you get your look at the medical examiner, as I described. Tall, lean, black hair, black eyes, mid-30s. He looks at you, extends his hand, greets you as well, introduces himself as Dr. Reeves, and then he starts beginning. He says, like I told our friend, I have a body of a young male, 13 years old. It would appear that he's been pierced in the chest with a sharp wooden object. I extracted the splinters from the body and set them aside for further analysis. He points to a small glass receptacle over on the counter. At this point, Collins speaks up and asks, who's our mutual friend?
He's our mutual friend, not yours.
Reeves is just remaining quiet, letting you guys go forward with this. He's not saying anything. Huh. Okay. Continue, Doctor. Reeves kind of looks at the two of you to see if that's okay to continue what he was saying.
All right, Doctor, please continue.
Yeah.
As I was saying, preliminary inspection of the wood suggests that the wood is old. I used our X-ray fluorescence spectrometer and found the splinters coated with layers of mercuric chloride, copper sulfate, and zinc chloride. Now, I took a little bit of research, but although rarely seen today, centuries ago, craftsmen used these chemicals in conjunction to preserve wood. Restoration craftsmen and antique dealers are known for still treating their inventory with this kind of preservative. My guess is, judging by the layered treatment on the wood, it's possible that wherever these splinters came from, that the main body of it's probably hundreds of years old, but what do I know? I'm not an antiques guru, I'm just a doctor.
So this piece of wood, was this a random jagged piece of wood from a tree that was struck by lightning? Is it a table leg? Is it a shaved, carved stave? Like, what are we talking about here? Sacrificial? Accidental?
Well, the splinters are maybe a ½ inch to maybe a ¼ inch long, maybe an 1/8 inch to a 1/16 inch in diameter. There's not enough of them for me to make an accurate description of whatever this thing came from. Only that the wood itself has been treated. Probably from the outside of whatever the source came from.
I'm sorry, I thought we had the implement as well.
No, these are just splinters of it. Whatever caused this wound is still out there somewhere.
Mr. Collins, you had spoken to the investigating officers. Did they recover a weapon of any kind?
Oh, did I say I talked to the investigating officer? No, I just overheard them. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mislead you that way. I just overheard what they were saying about
What did
about the
they
body.
say? You know what he's trying to say to you.
Just that the boy was severely wounded, that there was blood all over the crime scene. They were still looking for the mother and father, but you know, I have to. Excuse me. Let me go through my notes. And he pulls whatever he had in his hand in the hallway. He pulls that back out of his pocket, and you could tell it's a little leather-bound book. And he opens it up, and he turns away from me. He starts going through some of the pages, and he's looking. Give me just a minute, guys. Please continue without me. I'll be with you in just a moment.
I'll keep an eyeball on him as well,
Okay.
just to make sure he's not taking photos or, recording something.
Doctor, what was the location, or what is the location of the stab wound?
It was in the chest. Let me finish going over a little bit of this, Agent, and if you want, I'll let you read the chart, and then I'll take you back to see the body.
Got it.
As you know, as is protocol, I pulled blood from the body and found it was devoid of white blood cells. And it's possible the boy could have been suffering from some kind of a virus that was overwhelming him prior to his death. But like I said, this is just a preliminary report. These things, either by themselves or even together, may seem unusual. However, what prompted my call to Heisenberg, at this, Collins looks over his shoulder and Reeves pauses and says, our mutual friend, was I found 2 needle-like punctures at the base of the neck. I have the boy's chart. I would like for you to look at it before I lock it away. As he hands it to you, he says, as for the cause of death, pick one. Any one of these, and he waves the jacket in front of you, would have done it.
Do you have an estimation of how the injuries occurred in sequence? Because maybe we could figure out, okay, he would have died from any one of these, but which one of them was first, which one was last?
It's possible the absence of the white blood cells could have been first. I could definitively tell you that the puncture wound in the chest would have been the last. But as far as the other ones and in what order, I really couldn't tell you. Who does he hand the chart to?
Well, I'm over more by...
Yeah, Polly will take it.
Make an observation check each.
Okay. 18. Under 70, yes.
You notice that Michael Collins, as he's reading this book and everything, as soon as he hears the word Heisenberg, he jots the name down in the margin.
Mm-hmm.
And then he pauses as he's waiting to see if the doctor says anything else. Then he turns and he looks at you each, and then looks at Adesso and Reeves. And he says, I remember what the officer said. He said the young man was pierced in the chest by something. Some kind of a jagged implement. But they hadn't found the weapon. Sorry, gentlemen. Sorry, agents. It took me so long to find it. I had to go through a couple pages here.
Well, based on what you've heard so far, we're looking at neck wounds with 2 little marks and something sticking through the chest that has wood splinters. What do you think this is a vampire? Are we dealing with Nosferatu here, Mr. Collins? And I'll try to snatch his book while he's...
Make a dex check as I make mine.
Okay. And is that just a... Oh, okay, I see. 16.
I got to look at
If
mine.
each succeeds,
16 under 75.
if each succeeds, Polly will step in between him and Collins to prevent Collins from snatching the book back.
You
won't be
snap
able
the book from his hand as he goes to pull it back.
Okay. And I'll just look at the book that had the Heisenberg name on it, and I will tear that page out and hand it back to him.
Thank you. Yeah, that's okay. Points to his temple like, I got this. I'm okay.
Yeah, well, what I'll do is
Cut his head off.
Well, what I'll do is and I'll get kind of serious with him for a moment and say, so you're hearing things now that you may not want to repeat. or put down in print. And you know that little tap to your head? You'll be getting one of those if I ever find out any of this is getting out there. Do you understand what I mean, Mr. Collins? And I'll tap him on his head.
He takes it, adjusts his wire-rimmed glasses, and looks at you with these piercing blue eyes and says, I understand, Agent. And if I could illuminate and illustrate for you what I know and what I've seen, you wouldn't threaten me. You'd be welcoming my help.
You're very welcome. And I'll crumple up the paper and kind of smell it and go, but I have your scent now.
He takes it back and just puts it in his pocket. Doesn't unfurl it or anything.
Okay.
So who Adesso, did you take the chart then of
Yes.
the boy? It says body identified as Jules Bernard Kincaid, 13-year-old male, 5'7", 135 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes, features of note. The mid-chest has a jagged perforation, 1 to 1.5 inches in diameter. Splinters found around the hole in chest and heart suggest some form of wooden weapon was used. You see that there's a picture paper-clipped to it. Shows this jagged wound. The text continues. 2 small puncture wounds appear at the base of the nape, 2 inches apart from each other. You see that there's another picture as well that shows this of these 2 tiny piercings. Look to be recent, perhaps at the time of or just prior to death. Blood tests show body is devoid of white blood cells. No other scarring or mutilation. Time of death around 5 p.m. and it has today's date on it. Dr. Reeves looks at the 3 of you and says, as of yet, I've withheld certain details from Detective Kershaw of the Providence Police Department regarding what I've discovered with the boy's body. But I'm telling you, it won't be long before I'm going to have to disclose it, no matter how strange it may seem. So perhaps it's not a bad idea if you met with Detective Kershaw first. You know, soften this up, prep the landing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Very
What did
well.
you find specifically remarkable besides the lack of white blood cells?
Oh, you mean other than the giant hole in the chest and the 2 piercings at the base of the nape? Perhaps I shouldn't have contacted Heisenberg, you know? Maybe I was overstepping my boundaries.
Well, a stab wound to the chest that's fatal, made with a wooden stake, is in and of itself unremarkable. 2 puncture wounds to the back of the neck, again, in and of themselves, unremarkable. The lack of white blood cells is remarkable, but I'm not seeing a connection other than these things. What do you think?
Gentlemen, in this world, we know when something is of this world and not, and we do not get called up if it's not. Isn't that right, Mr. Collins? These things are among us? Isn't that what you write about?
Amongst us. And as he's saying this, he's walking closer to you each, and he kind of leans next to you, and he kind of folds his arms. He's like, you know, I really thought your partner would have been a little bit more open-minded. I mean,
He opens minds a lot, trust me. When you get to know him, your mind will be opened.
well, let's just hope that he directs his angst in the right direction.
As long as the sight lines up, he will.
Look, agents, I'm not interested in getting in a pissing match with you guys. I concede to your authority, and I'm okay with that. I'm merely here to help lend you support. Like I said, I believe that my experience and my knowledge can really help you along the way in your investigation.
Okay, let's tap into that right now. You've heard what the ME said. You tell me what I should be looking for.
If I had to take a guess, I'd say that we're dealing with a mist walker.
Okay, you got me there. A what?
He looks at you and he pulls a book out of his other pocket, and it says,
Volume 1?
it is...
He pulls out a
I can't remember
Kindle.
what the
You
first
mean.
book was called. It says, The Monsters Amongst Us. Volume 1.
Hey,
And he
Blue.
hands it to you, and he just kind of goes and stands in the door. He's all, there's an appendices in the back in case you need to look at that too, Agent.
You have this on Kindle, perhaps?
Yeah, that would be cool.
I'm getting it on Audible. I got the well-renowned Samwise Didier is going to do the voiceover for it.
Huh. Well, if you need artwork, I hear we have some contacts with someone named Eugene the Wise, if you're familiar.
He's in chapter 2. He didn't quite make chapter 1, but he's in chapter 2.
Yeah. Okay, so Mistwalker. What is a Mistwalker?
I'm not going to say it in front of the doctor. I don't know if he's been read in.
I think we're okay with the doctor. And I do
The
believe...
doctor asked for us.
Yeah. You shouldn't worry about anything about being read in.
Do I have to
you can
spell this out for you?
Please.
We're dealing with some kind of a vampire of some sorts or something. I don't know. It just it doesn't strike you as strange, possibly a werewolf.
Well, don't
Or
think about us.
lycanthropy.
Think about the listeners. They want to know.
It could be. We could be dealing with a werewolf. We could be dealing with a vampire. We could be dealing with some kind of a troll of types.
Wow, I don't really want to read your book. If you're saying that a troll could do this to a kid, you are definitely have not read the Monster Manual, let alone Volume 1 of the Book of Things That Aren't Here.
Make an intuition check.
Okay.
both of us or just Sammy?
Either one of you. You guys are both kind of grilling him.
Yeah. Well, we need to make sure he doesn't break.
30 under
57
75. So that would be a critical success, right? Or no? 33 would be a critical success.
Yeah, I got a 57 under 70.
You both are very wise, and you know that he's fucking with you right now.
Okay.
He's doing it intentionally. He's actually trying to feel your barriers and your knowledge at this point.
All right.
But
well,
he's not stupid. He doesn't.
Right.
He doesn't come off as stupid. He comes off as very. He's got a lot of guile. Like he knows what's up.
Well, all right, Mr. Collins. When you're done screwing around, what do you think? Tell us what you think. You're here for a reason. Because if you're not here for a reason, then we're going to have a problem.
Doctor, do you want to show us the body? The medical examiner looks at the two of you. What are we doing?
Please.
What are we doing, agents? Are we going to keep doing this, or you want to see the body, or you want me to leave the room?
No, I'd like to have you here right now.
Yeah.
But yes, take us to the body.
Okay. So Dr. Reeves looks at the three of you, reaches into his lab coat, and pulls out a ring of keys. And he says, well, if you agents want to follow me, we could, we'll go across the hall to the refrigeration room. And so he leads you out, goes to the door directly across, puts the key in, and turns it, and says, I hope you're not squeamish. With that, he opens the door, and your faces are buffeted by a wave of refrigerated air. He flicks on the light switches, and you see 10 metal tables forming 2 rows in the center of the room. 9 of the tables have large, zipped-up black bags atop of them, but the 10th table has a black bag that is flat and unzipped. The doctor leaves the key in the lock and runs to the 10th table and looks back at you and says, I don't understand. He was right here. I left him right here. Make an observation check.
16. I'm glad because I rolled earlier and I rolled an 86 because that was for my sanity and I would have failed. I figured we were going to see a dead kid.
You notice that the door on the opposite side of the room is not fully seated in the jamb.
When was the last time you were in here, Doctor?
Maybe 2 hours ago. That's when I
Okay,
willed him in here. He was zipped up tight on the table.
So that means whoever took him has a 2-hour lead on us. I'm going to do a quick Adesso. I'm going to go look to see if there's anything real quick. Maybe this just happened.
Right.
And so each is going to, do you want to follow or do you want to stay here with the doctor so he doesn't lose sanity or kill himself like they always do?
Yeah, the Emmys have a tendency to do that, don't they?
Episodes.
Yeah. All right, I'll stay with him then.
So I'll make my way through the doors.
Okay. You go out the door on the opposite end, and you see that there's another hallway on that side. It looks like it doesn't connect to the elevators that were in the original hallway that you originally came into the room from. You look to the left, you see that there's more doors to your left. You see to the right that there's lab technician tables. You see beakers, all kinds of Bunsen burners that are off, just sinks, well, cabinets and stuff. But at the far left, where all the doors are, you notice that the window is up and open.
Okay. Am I within shouting distance
Of who?
of the doctor and Adesso and all that?
Yeah, I'm assuming that you went left, you went to the right, you went to the left, and everything's kind of has an echo feel to it.
Well, I'll just yell, Adesso, window open, and I'll go over instead of texting it to him,
Right.
I'm trying to pursue and hopefully see someone fleeing with the body of the boy, or he's floating out there like Salem's Lot or something.
Okay. You run to the window. Odessa, what are you doing?
I'm checking the doctor. He doesn't. My guess is he does not appear to be skittish. He's just as surprised as we are. Are there any other exits in the room?
No, there's the only other exit is across from the entrance. And by the way, I'll cut this part out. This is an actual autopsy lab that I took a...
Where you send all your bodies. I got it.
Yeah. Well, it's just part of the rendering that I found what an autopsy lab looks like. So I wanted to get the schematic right.
So there are two entrances: the one we came in and another one that someone left out of.
That's correct.
Okay. Any windows?
Not in the autopsy lab.
Okay,
That'd be sucky.
Yeah, that would be rather odd, but
Somebody's
whatever.
waving this dead arm.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah. All right. So our guy's just as surprised. How many? Does it look like any other refrigerated storage are open or have been tampered with or have any marks on the handles? Like a bloody handprint or something obvious like that.
No,
We'll
but
check the
and the
other
whole
bodies,
room
too.
is ice cold. So these bodies that are in the bags are probably prepped to go into those storage lockers.
Right.
As you're
Check
going
the
through
other
all
ones,
this,
yeah.
Collins
Sorry,
runs out of the room, going out the exit where each head went, and actually runs down towards the window towards each.
Got it. My guess is each is going to pick him up. Is there anything remarkable about the other storage things?
What other storage things? You talking about the bags?
Yeah. Is there anything remarkable about any other storage unit in that place? What I'm looking for is scratch marks on the handles, a bloody handprint, anything else that would indicate that somebody either got out or went in.
Tony,
'Cause
see
if
if
it's all safe and cool,
have the
then
doctor
fine.
check and see if any other bodies are missing.
Yeah, good call.
Okay.
I'll tell him that, and then I'll tell the doctor to do that, and I will go out to meet with each.
You're going to leave me alone in here? And he starts unzipping the bags. He's like, Agent, what? I'm unarmed. And he zips all 9 bags, and as you're going out in the hallway, he's still doing his thing. As
Okay.
you make your way out into the hallway, you join Collins and Each at the window. Each, you're looking down from the second floor. There's no fire exit. You just see straight down to blacktop. And as you're looking down on the blacktop, you see what appears to be a white sheet just fluttering on the blacktop. And I'll see you guys next episode.
Ooh, free sheets.
Agent Each, is it? Please lead the way. And he cuts in front of you, Adesso, and just starts following Each back into the autopsy lab.
It's Agent Ichimura.
Ichimaru.
I'm sorry. It's
Agent Ichimaru.
Yeah, it's Agent Ichimaru.
It's actually Agent Kimura, but we're not going to stand on brevity.
Shit, I want to get. Well, I want the
Say it again. Say it again, Joe. This will be our blooper for this episode.
Yeah. Okay. God damn it! It's Agent Fuck. What's his goddamn name again, Sammy?
What's that dude's name?
Ichimaru. What?
Agent. Oh wait, he's only half, so he's what?
Ichikamaru.
Ichimaru
Kimura.
Kimura.
Mr. Collins, that's Agent
Ichimaru.
Kamaru. Fuck.
Kimura.
Kimura.
Kimura. Say that again.
Agent. Okay. Yeah, Agent Collins. Or fuck.
I like that. Call me Agent again, please.
Yeah. Mr. Collins, that's Agent Kimura. Thank you.
Could you say that again, Agent? I'm just fucking with you, Toe.
Okay. There's your blooper.
Thank you for joining us once again on Roll the Hard 20 podcast. Remember, you can find us and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora Radio, iHeart Radio, Amazon Podcasts, and Audible. And if you like what you're listening to, be sure to leave us that 5-star rating and review. Don't forget about our YouTube channel at Roll the Hard 20. So if you're into watching and you want to help support the show, then head on over and hit that subscribe button. It really does help the show out. We can also be found in the wild on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so don't forget to look for us there and check us out. You can also contact the show directly at rollthehard20podcast@gmail.com or head on over to the website at rollthehard20podcast.com where you can download the current show directly, pick and choose past shows from our archives, or view our galleries. We've got a lot of stuff posted over there, so check us out. And finally, join us on our Patreon at patreon.com/rollthehard20podcast, where you can become a hard slinger and pick up swag. So until next time, keep your dice warm and your glass topped off as you roll those hard 20s.